What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about all playable operators coming to Black Ops 6, post-launch skin updates, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and over the last couple of weeks, I've posted so much in regards to the upcoming Call of Duty. I got even more Black Ops 6 videos on deck for you guys over the next couple of days as we lead up to the release of Season 5. Still got a lot of MW3 coverage on the way as well, but couldn't be more excited for Treyarch's next game. With that being said, also got plenty of brand new article coverage going up on detonated.com for those that want to stay up to date with all things Call of Duty. Now, to start off this video, I do want to remind you once again that there will not be a carry forward option from Modern Warfare 3 into Black Ops 6. A slight exception was already made with those pre-order wood skins. All three of those skins that you can currently use right now in Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone will be brought forward into Black Ops 6. It's unclear exactly how this will work from a technical standpoint because obviously all operators in Black Ops 6 have a bunch more hitboxes, animations, and death effects compared to operators of every previous COD. I'm assuming those features and mechanics have just been ported over onto those wood skins, or there is a switch they're able to click behind the scenes. I know it's probably not that simple, that allows those new features and mechanics to be implemented on an operator. With that though, as I've talked about in some previous videos, I would still love for an exception to also be made for some of the voiced celebrity operators that we've gotten in MW2 and 3, but that's probably not going to be the case. Now what's interesting is that Treyarch did confirm to IGN a couple of weeks ago back at the studio that day one, and I quote, "You won't be running around with any of those crazy skins," they're referring to some of the goofier ones that have released during MW's post-launch, so that it doesn't break that immersion in that narrative that we want. Now, of course, we're going to add those things into post-launch. We know players like those things, and then we'll find really cool things that tie to Black Ops lore and also new exciting stuff as well. So they've already addressed the idea that I think during the preseason and even the first seasonal window for a Call of Duty game, you typically just have skins that are immersed in that serious lore, tone, and narrative that the game is built on. Then after that is when they get into some of the crazier skins with some goofy collaborations and some odd-looking, creepy, reactive, animated, colorful, flashy type skins that folks often criticize, but I think also forget, especially when it comes to echo chambers on Twitter and Reddit, that those are the best-selling skins for Call of Duty, hence why they keep being released throughout the live seasons. But I think that's also, again, confirmation that you're not going to be able to bring any skins from MW forward into Black Ops. I mean, even with the celebrity voiced operators that I'd like to see transferred over, I still think it does break immersion if day one you're seeing a bunch of crazy, wacky crossover skins when the game is meant to just take place in the 90s and deal with this very serious lore that is built on the campaign. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, well, what about the operators you get as a part of the Vault Edition? We obviously have really cool skins for both Adler and Park, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit, and then we also have Brutus and Klaus, so don't those break immersion? And I could see what you mean by that, I really could. But the thing about the zombies operators is that it's currently unknown what faction they're a part of. I'm gonna guess right now they're both a part of Crimson 1. Could be mistaken on that, and that could be subject to change. But yeah, I believe when you hop into, let's say, a match of Black Ops 6 Zombies and you select what operator you want to play as, that's if you don't want to play as a set crew in a map like Terminus, I think it'll be like Warzone, where there'll just be a big drop-down operator select menu that doesn't at all account for where those operators were from faction-wise. You just be able to select who you want to play as, and that will include the Brutus and Klaus skins when you hop into BO6 Zombies. But when over in multiplayer Warzone, they will likely categorize those two characters into what I'm thinking is Crimson 1. But it's also my opinion that playing as operators like Brutus or Klaus don't really take you out of immersion from Black Ops 6 specifically, since those are of course a part of the Dark Ether storyline. Now, during a private event at Treyarch a couple of weeks ago, they actually went ahead and showed us a lot of images of various playable operators throughout the Black Ops 6 campaign, and they showed us quite a bit of information about Black Ops 6 multiplayer. They specifically broke down how the operators are going to be separated. So as we've seen in just about every recent game, you're going to have two different factions that you can play as in multiplayer, and depending on what team you spawn in as, which is completely random, you'll be able to play as your favorited operator on either side. So we're going to have Rogue Black Ops and also Crimson 1. Now, I guess you could say the Rogue Black Ops faction are technically the good guys they're going to be playing as during campaign, but I'm sure that'll be up for debate depending on what the Rogue Black Ops agents actually do in the single player campaign. But as of right now, this is totally subject to change. This is just a current list of operators that we know are part of the Rogue Black Ops faction. This is based on images and information that was revealed to us creators at the Treyarch event, and also based on the footage that was provided by the Black Ops 6 direct live stream. So for Rogue Black Ops, we first up have Frank Woods, an obvious character that I guess won't be on the field throughout the campaign because he obviously lost his legs, but you'll still be able to play play as him in multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone because of those operators that you can currently get right now for pre-ordering the game. I'm sure there'll be other ways you can unlock Frank Woods if, let's say, you missed out on those Modern Warfare 3 challenges. Maybe there'll be extra challenges you can do day one to get Woods with his legs back. It's just unclear. But we also have Gregory Weaver. So yes, as we'll talk about again in a little bit, you'll be able to play as the set crew from Zombies within other game modes like multiplayer and Warzone. We obviously were able to play as Weaver during Cold War, so I was glad that that's also going to be something we see again inside of Black Ops 6. We next up have Maya. This is one of the new characters, also a part of the set Zombies crew that is, I guess, replacing Strauss for the character that's going to be on the field. But yeah, we saw her quite a bit during the recent Black Ops 6 direct live stream. She was definitely being played as and was running around matches of multiplayer, so that confirms it right there. Next up, we have Ratcliffe. This is an interesting character that they did show us a couple of images of during the Treyarch presentation over at the studio. So this is a character that leaked out, I want to say, over a year ago. An actor was actually on stage in California and revealed that he was going to be playing a character called Ratcliffe for an upcoming Call of Duty. At first we were like, wait, is that a placeholder name that they gave him, or is that actually his name? He kind of implied he was going to be a main character, but that's actually not the case here for Black Ops 6. He is a character that you'll see, I believe, on Adler's side throughout the single player, but he isn't a main character by any means. But yeah, Ratcliffe is going to be inside of the Black Ops 6 experience. Next up, we have Troy Marshall, who's going to be a very important character in the single player. Now, obviously, following the events of Black Ops 2's 1980s missions, Woods is crippled. He has a new role in the CIA, but Troy Marshall is actually his protege. So you already know Woods is going to teach Troy how to be the biggest badass possible here for the Black Ops universe. And then moving on to the man himself, Russell Adler, easily one of the most important characters of the Black Ops 6 single player, returning from Black Ops Cold War and following the crazy events of the post-launch story from Cold War's live seasons. Adler's going to have a crazy arc throughout this campaign, and I couldn't be more excited. So not only is he going rogue and is off the grid, but he's actually wanted by the United States government. So it's going to be a crazy story for this new beloved character. But we then have Helen Park, who I believe will be a part of more missions apart from just one, but I'm kind of getting vibes that she'll have a cameo like Farah did from Modern Warfare 2 2022, where she's just a part of one single campaign mission and mentioned throughout maybe a couple of other ones. But we did see gameplay of her in Iraq in one of the gameplay walkthroughs over at the studio, but I'm sure she'll have a bigger role, as I think Treyarch does know how big of a character she was during Cold War, but she is returning and will be playable, of course. We then have characters that I'm not too familiar with. We may have gotten glimpses of throughout the direct, but I could be mistaken. There's Yara, Bayan, West Point, and even Nazir. Not sure what these characters look like, but this is, of course, right now a current list according to the pre-brief information. But then for Crimson 1, for whatever reason, it looks like Mackenzie Carver and Elizabeth Gray are a part of this faction. Not sure why that's the case. Again, this could be a mistake as of right now, considering Weaver and Maya are on Black Ops Rogue. So I'll keep you guys posted with what ends up changing, at least narratively, for Zombies here. But obviously, Carver and Gray were a part of our main characters in the Cold War Zombie story and will be playable within Black Ops 6 Zombies. These are going to be set crew characters for Terminus that you can also choose to play as for other game modes as well. We then have Stone, a character that was also pretty prominent in Black Ops Cold War. Several skins did release for his character. He became an instant fan favorite for a lot of folks out there. Although he doesn't say much, he still does look pretty damn cool in just a variety of gameplay screenshots. We got a nice glimpse of him doing, I think, some omnidirectional movement in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, and I think people in the audience over at Treyarch's Theater did cheer when we ended up seeing Stone on the screen. We then have other characters that were named and presented on the Treyarch slideshow, like Kane, Alejio, Bailey, Volta, Niren, Liho, and I believe Brutus and even Klaus will be a part of the Crimson 1 faction. So it's unclear what some of these operators look like. We can't really put some faces together with some of these names just yet, but I'm sure there'll be a full blog post closer to launch detailing every single new playable operator and important character in the Black Ops 6 timeline. But during the beta of Black Ops 6, there will obviously be a limited amount of characters you can choose from while playing multiplayer. It's very likely similar to previous years. You'll be able to use all your Vault Edition skins, including the Mastercrafts, but we won't see a full library of operators until the launch window of Black Ops 6, where you'll be able to equip any playable character in the game, depending on if some of them require challenges or whatnot, or if they'll just be instantly unlocked after beating the campaign. But the question is, at least for right now, how will some of these operators be playable in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, Zombies, or even with the Warzone integration? I'm gonna assume most of these will be instantly unlocked day one, so if you skip the campaign, you can just hop right into MP, Zombies, or Warzone with Season 1 and just play as a majority of the characters that I just mentioned, let alone the seasonal ones that will end up releasing. We're going to circle back to that in a second, but there will obviously be some deaths in the Black Ops 6 campaign, which will be solidified as canon, meaning you can't play as some of those characters in MP or zombies. Unless they want to go against that rule, which I really wouldn't mind for the sake of just gameplay, then we're probably going to see something similar to Cold War, where, for example, Park surviving was like the canon choice of that campaign, hence why she's playable in other modes, whereas Lazar was canonically killed in that campaign, hence why you couldn't play as him for year 1. He was released as a bundle in year 2, which I think was just done for the sake of just putting out some extra content during year 2, but maybe they'll follow a trend like that with this game. I'm also hopeful that there'll be some challenges we can do where, for example, some characters that are prominent in campaign aren't playable instantly when the game first comes out, but if you do a simple challenge in multiplayer or zombies, you can then bring some of those characters over into those other modes. I'm also kind of hopeful, just for the sake of replayability, that you have to like beat the Easter egg or do something cool in Terminus or Liberty Falls to then play as the set crew of Weaver, Carver, Gray, and even Maya in other game modes around Black Ops 6. Now, last thing I'll end with in regards to other skins for Black Ops 6 is that obviously we've been seeing combat packs for the last couple of years. You end up seeing a new exclusive operator released as a part of PlayStation exclusivity, and then throughout the live seasons, you get additional skins for that new operator. Xbox and PC haven't seen those new skins added until, what, after Season 6, before the release of the next COD, but the Sony deal does come to an end with the conclusion of the Modern Warfare 3 post-launch arc. Maybe we'll still get combat packs, but for release on all platforms at once throughout Black Ops 6. Unless that system is going away entirely, we may see the elimination of that new bonus operator that you can go ahead and redeem. But obviously throughout the live seasons, we're going to end up getting new operators via the battle passes. You got a new character added with every single Blackcell offering. I believe the black and gold theme is coming to an end with Black Ops 6, and according to the Vault Edition, we may see more of like a black and orange vibe with Blackcell going forward. But I'm also crossing my fingers for a lot of the awesome post-launch characters from Cold War cycle to make a return throughout some point in the Black Ops 6 seasons, because I think there were some really cool characters that became instant fan favorites, most of which were villains, but I think they'll be received very well here inside of BO6. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on all playable operators coming to the upcoming Call of Duty? How are you feeling about post-launch skin support, plus everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.